Welcome back. This is Scott Tongees, creator of the Cash Cow Realty Academy, where you'll learn how to start with nothing, earn seed capital, buy your first income property, then, using this one property, parlay into a high cash flow portfolio with every income property type. As you learned in the last video, it's possible to create money from nothing by arranging options, lease options, and seller finance transactions, and then either assigning them to an end user for a fee or sandwiching yourself in between the owner and an end user for an even larger profit. Now, an option is one way to control a situation. On commercial deals, you can also get control via options or a simple letter of intent or a purchase contract. You can also arrange master lease options and seller finance deals or just plain market deals and make money, as I'm about to show you. So first, you may be asking yourself, is all this cash cow ideal for real? Let me tell you about just 3 of my former clients and mentors. Do you remember the $12 million Gulfstream jet I mentioned in video 1? George's focus was buying and upgrading defunct distribution warehouses, but he'd buy about anything that was a good deal. One of his greatest deals was to buy all 850 Chrysler dealerships in America when the company was going under for the first time for $130 million. Some months later, the chairman, Lee Iacocca, got a government bailout loan, so he now needed dealerships again. So when Lee bought back the remainder George had not sold off, which was about half the portfolio, he paid George $130 million for the remainder. So George kept the profit between what he'd sold off and what he resold the properties back to Iacocca. George was as generous with his time and advice as he was with his money, donating art and money to public institutions and colleges. In his career, he'd bought and sold $50 billion worth of income properties. George passed away just last year at 85, but he was still working, and I certainly valued our 30-year friendship. Jerry J. Moore, what a character. A self-made man who specialized in buying, for pennies on the dollar, foreclosed, near-vacant community shopping centers in which the grocery store or anchor tenant had gone, leaving struggling inline tenants gone or soon to be. Jerry had a cast of regular tenants he'd put into these places, particularly to fill the grocery store space, bringing the center back to life in short order, and that's something I'll teach you about. He left one of the largest private collections of Rolls-Royces and Duesenberg automobiles ever assembled, nearly 200, and a home of outsized proportion with a 23-car underground parking garage, and that outsized home matched his personality. I don't know if your home looks like this, mine doesn't, but it does show you what can be done with cash cow investing and simple commercial properties rather than houses. Jerry sold off part of his shopping center portfolio in bulk for $125 million. Darby Suter. Yes, that's Darby, playing his saxophone with the dance band he performed with every Friday night for decades. I first met Darby on a Saturday morning when he came into my office to make a cash offer of nearly $750,000 for a 76-unit apartment building that was in poor condition. I was about to give up on it, along with the owner who had inherited from his parents. I went on to help Darby expand his portfolio from about 150 to 760 apartment units, all catering to a hugely profitable submarket of tenants. After selling off his apartment portfolio, we were having lunch one day, and he asked me if I would go look at the last 8 houses he was selling off to get some ideas on marketing them. Only then, after 25 years of friendship, did I find out the extent of his home investments. 150 houses, all kept until they were paid off. He didn't need my marketing advice, but according to his attorney, when Darby passed away early last year, he left $50 million in cash and stocks. Except for the tux in this picture, I've never seen Darby in much other than jeans, usually working out on site alongside his workmen, even on roofs putting on tar, driving his old truck. These are just 3 of the folks I learned from over a 39-year career. All are true cash cow investors, and it's secrets like theirs that you can learn too. Now, don't be overwhelmed by their success. What they did can be done on any scale, but you can do a lot more with a $110,000 fourplex than you can with a $110,000 house, as you saw. Now, this is not about their stuff. It's about the ideas these investors came to know that you can learn too, to chart your own course and have a plan with an end to it. These men all had in common just a few things. Cash flow from well-bought cash cow deals at the start allowed them to eventually pay all cash for more investments later. You can learn and duplicate these strategies starting at any level. All of these men had cash cow focus on what properties to buy. Let me show you another idea in which you could get seed capital and obtain an investment deal all from the same property. Assume that you find a multi-building deal which you could get seed capital and purchase a property all in one transaction. Now, these may be two buildings side by side, like a fourplex and a fourplex, or it may be somebody's got an 8-unit building here and a 10-unit building 3 blocks away. But again, these are cash cow deals, and that they're good upside. These properties may not be running well. They may not be doing as well as they could. They may be 80% occupied or 60%, and different reasons that people get into these situations. And I won't go into all that today. But so all you need to do is to contract to buy both buildings in my example. But then you offer one, sell one, and use the profit from that, a modest markup, as I showed you with my fourplex, and use that as the down payment for the other property. In fact, the fourplex that I showed you as an example earlier was next door to a clone of it, another fourplex. And more about that deal is in the PDF file that we've attached to the emails here. Now, there are about 25 other low or no down deal ideas that you can learn. Remember, as Dan Kennedy noted, most people are looking for simple solutions or quick fixes to complex problems, and investment real estate, though basically simple, does take some study. But anything worth doing, especially to make real money, works like that. So the cash cow investing plan came about from this and guys like George and Darby and Jerry and scores of others I've learned from over the decades. Now, as you remember, we did this with a fourplex. We earned seed capital, $38,000. Then we invest that seed capital and buy with $8,000 held back for reserves, $30,000 to invest. The hard money lender lending us, say, 80% of the next purchase and fix-up costs. That's $150,000 available, $120,000 in loan, $30,000 in equity. Use this to buy the first property and use that property to buy more. All one does to earn seed capital is to look for opportunities with good upside, then engineer simple solutions. With just a little more knowledge, which I can teach you, you could do something like this. You don't just need rehab properties or poorly occupied properties to profit with income properties. Just financially challenged properties will do. Do you remember the triple net deal I mentioned earlier when we were showing expenses and it had no expenses, where the investor buys a property that's leased out to others, and then the tenant pays 100% of all the cost to run and maintain the building? Now, you drive by deals like these every day and probably didn't realize it. Lots of companies do this, like Walmart, CVS, Walgreens pharmacies, AutoZone, Home Depot, Dollar General, and you can even buy a U.S. post office and they'll lease it back from you, to name just a few. But they don't have to be name brand tenants or big expensive properties like these. I came across a beautiful medical condominium office building in which the doctor owners had gotten behind on their mortgage. Now, this was a nearly new, beautiful building. It was nearly 3,000 square feet, and the doctors owed about $800,000 on their loan. Looking at the market rents on LoopNet that showed that properties like this would lease for about $18 a square foot per year. And these were nice office spaces. So I determined the value to be about $550,000. So how did I do that? Well, it was pretty simple, and I used what I'd showed you earlier. The tenant on the this type of building, the tenant pays their rent, and the investor gets the lease income as their return on investment. So the tenant pays rent, and 100% of all the upkeep and cost of the building, the investor gets a check each month as his return on investment. Any property type can be sold and leased back by a triple net tenant. Any investor can own, large or small. So the triple net deal for seed capital is what I created with this particular deal. Again, it was a defaulted medical office condominium in great condition. They owed about $885,000. It was 2,940 square feet. I knew from the market rents of $18 per square foot per year, which I found on LoopNet, that was really about what the building would rent for, triple net, with the tenants paying all the expenses. So my quick valuation, and I did this in minutes, 2,940 square feet times $18 per square foot per year was $52,980 as a gross rent per year, or $4,415 a month. So because there's no expenses, the income is the net operating income. So I knew that buildings were selling, typically there was a lot of triple net deals for 8% cap rates or a little bit lower, but I wanted to offer this to the market at a higher return on investment. I mean, my tenants here weren't Walmart. These were doctors who'd had some difficulties but were getting out of it. So I used a 9% cap rate, divided the $52,980 a year revenue expected by 0.09, and that gave me a value of $589,000. So the investor gets the rent check every month, and the doctors would sell the building and lease it back for long term, and they would pay their rent each year. So $52,980 of rent per year, 9% annual return on the $589,000 cash investment to buy the building. Now, these were beautiful offices. They were in great condition, and the doctor spent a small fortune, maybe too much, on the permanent improvements. But here was the result. I put this deal on LoopNet. I offered it as an investor. I received a full price cash offer in 4 days. The letter of intent that the buyer offered suggested a $50,000 earnest money check. The buyer was also a real estate broker, an investor, and a real estate attorney. He eventually drew up a new contract between the end buyers and the owner, himself and the owners. I took a fee agreement from the buyer to assign this deal to him. So we closed a deal, and I collected a $25,000 assignment fee from the buyer for this deal that I had under contract. The really good part was the doctors got to keep their practice in the building. They got a 10-year lease plus renewal, so they could keep this building for years to come or sublease it out to others if they wish. The investor gets a 9% return on his cash investment. By the way, I have never seen this building, and I've never met any of the parties face to face. When you're doing distance investing, especially for seed capital at least, a visit's not required. And when buying for yourself, you can use research, brokers, direct mail, technology, and hourly help to do some of the things if you're getting directly involved as an investor in a property. Let me tell you what management is in just a nutshell. This is the key to good management. Have a clear vision of what it is you want to create. You want to clearly state what needs to be done and why to the people who are going to do it. You need checklists so that they know exactly what needs to be done. You then follow up to make sure it's getting done, and any of those are people or companies that are not doing the job, you replace them with others. That's really good management in a nutshell, a clear vision being the real key. So looking at both of these two seed capital deals I did, the fourplex and the medical condo, I made $63,000 in seed capital. I had no investment, no risk. And these deals were on opposite ends of the spectrum. The deal that was in great condition but just needed to be readjusted to market rents, and the fix-up fourplex, it was completely vacant. I can assure you, you can do this. So, if you're serious about starting in a new financial direction that's a secret to all but very few investors, which you can learn, I've concentrated and simplified my own 39 years of experience and the hundreds of years of experience from my clients that I've learned about into one place. I have untangled the Rubik's Cube of income property investing. What you can learn is this. You can learn exactly what the most successful income property investors do, and you can start small. You can earn seed capital without risk. You can invest in your first property, and then you can use that one property to parlay into a high cash flow portfolio. It's real life monopoly. Finally, it's all in one place. I've created the Cash Cow Realty Academy Complete Home Study course. To start you on your way, I've created the most comprehensive income property home study course available, and I put it all in this one place. It includes the following. First, the Cash Cows book. The full title is Cash Cows, The Complete Guide to Apartment, Commercial, and Residential Income Property and the Hidden World of Extreme Profit Investing. In it, you'll learn 25 ways to create zero or low down payment deals. You'll learn all about loans, including non-recourse loans that will allow you to buy and upgrade properties with no personal risk, and how to create lifetime income. And you'll learn to do so with every income property type. You'll also learn how to analyze deals quickly and learn about free third-party help so you don't have to be a genius in all facets of real estate to make money. Next is the workbook. It's 180 pages of real-world examples, and it's used in conjunction with the 5 CDs, in which I take you through every page as if I was right beside you, explaining and simplifying every type of deal and what to look for. And this is only available with this course. Next, the Cash Cow mug. Who'd not want that? Next is the interview CD, in which Houston radio and TV host Doug Johnson talks to me about what stumps most people about real estate, and I tell him about not only some adventures in real estate, but how it's all very understandable if looked at the right way. You'll also get a copy of what I call the House Book. The official title is How to Turn One $2,500 Investment into $500,000 in 3 to 5 years Leasing Homes, a True Story. In it, I take you step by step about how I found house deals to lease, how I advertised them, how I eliminated dealing with tenants, and you can make more money up front than you lay out, so you have virtually no risk. Finally, the book you should read first, Start with Nothing, in which I lay out the premise of a cash cow investing plan for lifetime income and how to make money from thin air starting without cash or credit, then buy your first deal. In addition to these books, you'll get the free 3 months of my Get Started steps so you can start to use these ideas in the real world. If you want to continue, you can. In short, here are some of the things you'll learn in the free 3-month mailings. Step-by-step instructions starting with Session 1. Every month, a What Next lesson, a book, and an audio CD for more understanding. 3 lessons over 3 months. Access to additional trainings by my own favorite mentors. Both residential and commercial investing training is covered, and there's an option to continue at $69 per month in month 4 if you wish to do so. So here's some of what you'll learn. Over 25 ways to profit from income properties with little or no money. How to analyze income property deals in seconds on back of an envelope. How to find deals, how to market them. How to know a good deal versus a poor deal. Real-world examples that will apply to any deal type or size. How to get all the legal advice you'll need in all states for only $49 a month. How to manage properties for maximum profit. So what's the value of all this? I've charged as much as $280 an hour for consulting. The books have over 20 hours worth of training if I were to teach them. CDs are 5 hours of direct education in my workbook, and the decades of my own experience and my own study, plus my clients' collective hundreds of years of investment experience. The 25 hours alone of information at $280 is $7,000 worth of educational time. Others have suggested a really big price for this entire kit, but my own distilled knowledge of over 39 years in one place, the collective knowledge of some of the most successful real estate investors in the country, and you can't buy their time at all, and the essence of what you need to know and eliminate the waste of time with some things you don't need to fool with. I plan to price this at $1,995 for this course and the free 3 months Get Started series, and I likely will very soon. But for now, I've priced it at only $995, including shipping via U.S. Priority Mail. After this preliminary launch, this price will increase. Again, for this low price, you'll get the Start With Nothing book, the Cash Cows book, the Cash Cows workbook, which is not for sale anywhere else, the House book, which is how to turn $2,500 into 500,000 leasing homes, the 5 CD set, where I go through the entire workbook as if I was right there with you. And again, those are only available with this course. The interview CD about dealing with some amazing clients and lessons learned, the Cash Cow mug, and 3 free months of the Get Started From Zero sessions. And the materials include getting seed capital from homes and then moving on to commercial deals. And of course, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If this is not the most informative and useful all-in-one-place course about real estate investing you've ever encountered, just send it back and I'll refund the full purchase price, and you keep the Start With Nothing book and the mug. You get your money back and I'm out the money for the book and the mug. Remember, you can't keep doing what you're doing and expect different results. As Guru Dan Kennedy says, simple solutions to complex problems like how to finally get ahead financially don't work. This may be the set of skills to master that will reward you the most. Now is your chance to have the knowledge that could change your life, letting you fish in a big pond with very few other fishermen, and be the master of your own time and your own life. Just go to the links below this screen to order via hard copy or online. And here's to your success.